103.3 The Expansiveness of the Mind Complex. Hello and welcome to the Cosmic Experience of One. This is an awareness expanding course that should be absorbed in order. Like a university course, this course's information builds upon itself, so you would be doing yourself a disservice if you took it in out of order. If you do not watch it in order, you might not comprehend the material, or worse, you will think you fully understood it and walk away with a skewed interpretation. Do yourself a favor and first view 101.1, 101.2, 101.3, and 101.4, which are all in one video that starts with an introduction to this course, then continue on interviewing the subjects in order. The introduction to this course needs to be taken in first in order to know the nature of this awareness expanding course. Think of this course as a book where you will not understand it fully if you do not read the chapters in order, chapter 1 being the introduction that is imperative to take in first. So please click on the link in the description section under this video to view the first video. Since the cosmos is a mental projection from Source and so operates on a mental level, the mind complex needs more focus to be mastered than the body complex and spirit complex of a being. The best way to balance a being's chakras, which equates to advancing toward graduating to fourth density, is to observe one's inner state. More precisely, observing one's thoughts and feelings or emotions is the best method that offers advancement, and to a much lesser degree, observing one's physical behaviors and actions, which are not as important because one's behaviors and actions stem from one's thoughts and feelings or emotions, the root of actions. Naturally, human beings need to adequately observe the physical world that is outside of themselves in order to survive and function in a society. Those who are inquisitive or curious work on observing more aspects of a society and how it operates, connecting details together to understand more fully how other human beings within their civilization or planet operate and possibly what motivates them. This can be particularly useful in recognizing and attempting to balance out the mindset and actions of negatively oriented human beings within a society or planet. But as one's state of being is more important than physical actions taken and observing a society, observing oneself internally is more important for one's growth and advancement. After adequate internal advancement, actions taken in the physical world are more effective and powerful because they are made from a centered and harmonious state of being. Most human beings notice to at least a small degree what transpires inside themselves, but do not work on observing the majority of what transpires, nor do most analyze their thoughts and emotions to figure out their motivations and mechanisms. One who is not interested in improving themselves does not bother to observe or analyze their internal state. Those who are interested and do the inner work can make huge advances and live with contentment. Being ashamed or chastising yourself for producing and charging / entertaining unhealthy thoughts and emotions is counterproductive because it works to strengthen the very thoughts and emotions one is trying to overcome. Be resilient but patient with yourself, as the third density is the most difficult and intense density. Since fourth density beings can influence thoughts and sometimes feelings or emotions, any thought or feeling might not have been produced by yourself anyway. However, one is always responsible for the thoughts and emotions they entertain / charge, even if it did not originate from them. For example, if a human being gave you advice or told you to do something, Their thoughts and feelings are received by you, but that does not mean you need to take their advice or do what they command. After hearing them out, it is your choice to continue to entertain their thoughts and feelings by making them your own, and then possibly following through with the action in the physical world. Whether vocalized thoughts and feelings originate from another third density being or stealthily via telepathy from a higher density being, it is still your choice as to what you entertain/charge. Since one does not know what thoughts and feelings are from higher density beings, it benefits one to use discernment for all thoughts and feelings. Whether the thoughts or feelings originate from oneself or higher density beings, if they do not serve you, do not entertain them and discard them. Negative thoughts about oneself or others do not serve you. You may recognize the negative actions in others in your thoughts, but that is not creating your own negative thoughts if you do not linger on them and mentally repeat them. It is simply observing. When one begins practicing the art of observing and analyzing their thoughts, feelings, and emotions, the inner work is started, the guard is placed at the mental gateway, and the inroads that fourth density negative beings use may be reduced, lessening the amount of thoughts they can project into your mind because you are now keeping watch of the domain of your mind complex, spotting both intruders and one's own unhealthy mental habits at the same time, not necessarily needing to figure out where they came from, self or other, but simply stopping their passage. One who does not observe nor analyzes their thoughts and emotions is like one who leaves the front door wide open, constantly allowing any service to self being to walk right in and attempt manipulation. After a being has done a lot of inner work and becomes adept at observing and analyzing their thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and a fourth density negative being sneaks inside through a window of opportunity to embed a thought or feeling, the adept may recognize it and laugh at the attempt like one would laugh at a kid's childish remark that attempts to annoy and stir up drama. It is akin to an adult going back in time to view a scene on the elementary school's playground where a bully's comment heavily affected them when they were a child. But the present adult who observes the scene laughs at the bully's silly and childish comment instead of letting it affect them. Observing and analyzing thoughts, feelings, and emotions makes a being aware of the lessons they need to work on. Analyzing thoughts, feelings, and emotions as they emerge offers insight to their root condition because the trail of evidence is fresh. When one knows the root issue, they may effectively work towards resolving it, sometimes instantly. Suppressing or ignoring emotions before one has found its root cause is not a shortcut that works and is similar to ingesting very unhealthy prescribed medication instead of working to resolve the root issue. If the prescribed medication is ingested long-term or even short-term depending on the drug and the circumstances, it ends up making the very issue one is trying to cure worse instead of better. In some ways, those who prescribe medications, such as psychiatrists and doctors, are akin to legalized drug dealers who are just as culpable as illegal drug dealers. But since their prescribed drugs are deemed illegal by a society, those who do not think for themselves tend to automatically believe the method and drug is healthy and effective due to being naive. To ignore or attempt to mask a root issue is to give it opportunities to grow into a bigger issue, turning a stream into a raging river. Observing one's thoughts, feelings, and emotions and analyzing them, if need be, to find the root issues and resolving them makes one their own psychologist, which all beings will have to be at some point in their string of third density incarnations in order to graduate to fourth density, because self-reliance is part of third density beings' responsibilities. Since no one knows you better than yourself and no one else knows exactly what goes on inside you, no psychologist is better than yourself. A percentage of early third subdensity human beings who lack mental discipline may benefit from having a psychologist, but the greater percentage of human beings are adequately capable of serving their own needs in this area, just as an adult no longer needs another adult to treat them like a child. We have noticed a push by negatively oriented human beings to promote the idea that every human being should have a psychiatrist, even kids, usurping the role of parents. Programming for this has been heavy in movies and TV shows. We will reveal 2 of the 3 reasons why negative implement this programming. 1. Hooking more humans, including kids, on detrimental prescription drugs for the sake of profit and making drugged up humans easier to be manipulated and controlled. 2. Influencing humans into thinking they cannot be their own adult and need a so-called official human to provide them with their parental needs, which makes them less self-reliant and susceptible to being manipulated and controlled. The latter is a favorite tactic by what humans call big government, which may be partially or mostly ran and/or utilized by negatively oriented human beings to manipulate and control the majority. The mind complex is expansive like the vast storage of information on the internet. The subconscious mind stores every detail of a being's current incarnation, as well as all their incarnations, and may be brought forward using the technique of hypnosis and regression hypnotherapy for past incarnations, which may be beneficial at recognizing and resolving root issues. The conscious mind alone stores enough information to overstimulate a being and drown them in their thoughts of the past and possible future scenarios, which are infinite, if the mind complex is not wisely utilized. Before using the internet, it is wise to have a predetermined objective, a reason for utilizing the internet. When the objective is accomplished, one stops using the internet. If one gets on the internet without a defined reason, they may jump from one task or topic to another and find that several hours have passed with not much to show for it, time that could have been utilized elsewhere being or doing something more valuable. It is the same with one's mind. Use it for a purpose and then put it down, reverting back to a serene state of being where one's natural state of love, joy, and peace can fully be felt. Use the past and future as tools for when they are needed to complete a task in the present, and then return to the present moment. The past can be mentally accessed to recall a lesson learned or recover a detail that is needed in the present, but to overstay in the past is to ignore the present moment, which is synonymous with ignoring life, since the present moment is all that there is, the collection of every present moment making up one's incarnation. Instead of mentally accessing the past to drown in regret or any other unhealthy thought or emotion, use the present to understand and accept the past and learn from it, and also possibly resolve the issue if it is ongoing and one feels it should be resolved. No solutions can be applied in the past, but they can be applied in the present moment. It may be wise to produce a plan for the future, but it is unwise getting lost in over-planning instead of utilizing the present to work toward fulfilling one's plans, because it puts the cart before the horse. It is folly and ineffective to produce anxiety or worry over a perceived possible future event, because practicing anxiety or worrying not only produces unhealthy thoughts and feelings, but it works at charging the very possible future one is trying to avoid, making it more likely to happen. The more mental focus that is applied to a thought or emotion, whether it is something a being wants to happen or not, the more it is charged and increases its likelihood of happening in the future present moment. Use the mind as a tool instead of the mind using you like a tool. An uncluttered desk may be properly used when it is needed. Observe how it feels when your mind is restlessly moving from one topic to another aimlessly. You will notice it does not feel good, or that it is simply a waste of energy. Observe how it feels when your mind is clear and the background running tasks are ended. It feels calm and comforting, and if it is clear long enough, you feel your natural state of love, joy, and peace resurface. If the practice of keeping a clear mind is done often enough, and there is no suffering and pain being stored in the mind-body-spirit complex, the natural state of love, joy, and peace comes forward instantly. It can then continue to be felt to some degree in spiriting your actions as you apply focus to performing the actions, whether they be slow or fast actions. This could be considered a meditative action. Tai Chi is a prime example, but even everyday tasks can be made into meditative actions. Focusing solely on a single thought or action is a prime tool for ending background running tasks in the mind that bog the system down and deplete one's energy. Instead of tasks /thoughts constantly running in the background, they can be initiated and focused on at the proper time, if they even need to be focused on at all. One will find that many thoughts running in the background of one's mind are folly and do not require focus at all, and are best ended and released permanently because they do not serve you. These mind interruptions are akin to an audience member speaking out of turn and interrupting a speech you are focusing on delivering. There may be time for questions and answers later on, but now is not the time. The more often the mind is trained in this way, the less interruptions from audience members are made. The audience members may be unruly at first, but if you continue to calmly train them, they will eventually take heed to your direction. Focusing on one task not only ends background running tasks, it allows one to be more effective and thorough at that one task, since it is receiving one's full attention and focus. If the focused task is passive, like meditation, observing nature, a city scene, a park scene, a movie, or a theatrical production, the passive action is much more enjoyed when it is given one's full attention. To not give a task one's full attention is to not honor that task. If the task is of little value or useless, perhaps that is why it is not being given honor. This is for one to discern. Strengthening one's focus and attention span is a very important aspect that offers advancement. One cannot work towards being spiritually advanced or an adept without having done so. Practicing meditation is an effective way to increase focus and the attention span. Reading books is also an effective way to increase one's focus and attention span, as well as stimulating a creative mind. An alarming percentage of human beings in their current fast-paced digital world find it difficult to simply read a physical book because their focus and attention spans are so limited. Children who are raised on digital devices particularly suffer because they are trained to have very limited focus and attention spans in their influential years, which encourages lifelong unhealthy habits. All third density beings are vulnerable to getting lost in the mind complex. Not all third density beings get lost in their body complex or spirit complex. The mind complex is the most enveloping and difficult complex of a being to train. Getting lost in the body complex, such as delving into superficiality, is a topic that Earthlings are already familiar with, so we do not feel the need to address this topic other than to briefly state: the third density body is one's temple and vehicle that is used during an incarnation, so keep it healthy and maintained so that it can get you where you need to go and allow you to work on what you need to work on. It benefits a being to keep their third density body healthy and maintained, but identifying with something that is transient is to focus on trivialities and sets oneself up for a fall. Getting lost in the spirit complex is an issue we have already covered, but we will briefly restate it here. When a being has not adequately mastered the lower chakras and instead focuses on engaging the blue or indigo ray chakra, much confusion arises and the being is not adequately grounded to learn the lessons in the lower chakras they incarnated into the third density to learn, overcome, and balance, nor are higher chakra lessons fully learned and understood when the lower chakras are not adequately balanced. Going straight to activating the blue or indigo ray chakra is not a shortcut, but an even longer route, as there is no foundation established under the blue and indigo ray chakras, and so these energy centers cannot function properly, and it is only a matter of time before inharmonious mental states arise. Many variables from cosmic energy are always in effect and shifting, offering influences that can make working on one's inner state easier or more difficult from day to day. Knowing this equips a being with the knowledge to avoid getting down on themselves when performing the inner work. Regardless of these cosmic variables, having setbacks is necessary and a part of the process and offers one the ability to move forward with greater knowledge and strength than they had before. Remember to stay vigilant but patient with yourself as you work on growth and advancement. At no point is giving up or ignoring the inner work a wise choice, as experiencing the cosmos and advancing through it is the reason you are incarnate in the first place. Additionally, doing the inner work leads to contentment, the greatest gift of all, a gift that only you can give to yourself. A clear and uncluttered mind is like a clean and uncluttered house. When the house is cluttered, tasks are harder to perform in the house, and one may often be busy repeating tasks in the house, such as endless rearranging, usually adding to the disarray rather than reducing it. Since the root issue is not addressed, the house stays cluttered or collects even more clutter. One finds large amounts of their time attempting to rearrange and clean the house by performing ineffective methods, always being busy doing useless tasks. This is the state of the mind when the inner work is not done. The mind is a tool that benefits one if they learn how to utilize it properly. It can be one's greatest enemy or one's most powerful and effective tool if used properly. Clearing the mind not only assists a being, it also opens up possible communication, pathways for further aid. When the mind is clear, or when focus is applied to a single contemplative task, the noisy clutter is absent, allowing one's spirit guides, fourth density positive beings, and one's higher self to more efficiently offer guidance and influence in the form of thoughts and signs in the physical world. Signs seen in the physical world could be delivered via repeated signs, signs with personal affiliations, animal occurrences, and signs given while communicating with other human beings. One's spirit guides like to work with other selves' spirit guides to nudge or deliver a sign. The human being one is talking to may be influenced by their spirit guides, who are temporarily working with your spirit guides to bring up a certain topic, phrase, or specific word to be spoken that may create a light bulb moment for you. If the mind is not clear, observant, and focused, signs may go unnoticed. However, if the positively oriented human being is actively working toward manifesting much positive polarity that could be or currently is beneficial for the majority, they are a target for fourth density negatives who also utilize other human beings the positively oriented come in contact with, nudging the human tools to perform certain actions or say certain words that work to undermine positivity and offer misdirection. The more unhealthy a being is, and one who does not perform the inner work, the more likely and easier they are to be used as tools for fourth density negatives. Practicing meditation is a primary method for clearing one's mind and increasing focus and the attention span. Given there are countless methods of meditating that go beyond the essential and basic meditation of simply emptying one's mind, we do not offer specific ways to meditate, since each being is unique and so each being finds different ways of meditating to be effective. Before ending this subject, the Wanderer would like to offer a meditation he believes most human beings would find useful. We only note that each being may change any aspect of this meditation to suit their own effectiveness. Here is a meditative exercise I find useful to clear the mind and cultivate a long attention span. You might find it useful as well. I call it the silent observer. Find a spot in nature, a park, or even your yard to place a chair to sit on or a picnic blanket to lie down on. Mentally affirm to yourself that there is nothing that needs to be done or thought at this time and clear your mind. If thoughts come rushing in, begging you to do this or think about that, produce no agitated responses to these thoughts and simply dissolve them. To be agitated by them is to charge them. Listen to the sounds of nature without thinking about them, and instead passively observe them. Bird songs, birds chirping, the breeze, leaves clattering in the wind, the babbling flow of water, any animal noises, or whatever natural sounds you hear where you are sitting or lying down. If there are no sounds, observe and listen to the silence. Gaze at and observe with a clear mind the elements of nature in your sight: trees, clouds, the horizon, the sky, grass, plants, flowers, birds, animals, water, etc. Observe all these things by sound and sight with a clear mind, like that of a quiet and calm tree. Realize that all is well and perfect as it is right now, and that no problem exists, and no task needs to be done in the present moment. Feel yourself become one with nature and flow with the soothing and healing invisible energy it provides. If all of this is done properly, you will feel your natural state of love, joy, and peace surface within you to some degree. Maybe felt only slightly at first, but growing with intensity as time passes. You may be surprised to find this practice more rewarding and even more entertaining than sitting in front of the television while watching some TV show that distracts, might be attempting to program you, and keeps your spirit asleep. This practice may even be done in the bustling city. You may not have the added benefit of nature's energy or its sights and sounds, but you can still hear and see the city's elements with a clear mind. If you do not mentally label any city sounds as bad, you can observe them with a clear mind, as long as they are not too loud and obtrusive. Going to a park in the city might add some nature sounds to the city sounds and be helpful. City rooftops may also work well because you can view the city as a removed observer without people looking at you, which might distract you. Follow the same steps previously listed until your natural state of love, joy, and peace begin to glow inside you. When returning to your daily life and tasks, remember your natural state and how it is always within you. Use focus in your thoughts and actions and calm the mind if it attempts to throw mental clutter at you, knowing that you are more effective and content when focus is applied and the mental background tasks are not incessantly running like a spinning hamster wheel that goes nowhere. You may feel to some degree your natural state of love, joy, and peace well up inside you as you sit between tasks or even while you perform focused tasks. It is your natural state of being that is always present inside you, shining through while you experience the illusion of the cosmos. This course is presented in video format for free to overcome book shadow banning and make its existence known. Now that you know it exists, it's recommended to proceed how this course is intended to be absorbed by book. The title of the book is The Cosmic Experience of One, an awareness expanding course for human beings. The information in this course is more effective and appropriate to be read in book form, where one can pause and ruminate and meditate on the material as they read. Besides the low audio quality in the videos and the protection from targeted spoken words and censorship, the book is a much better way to understand and learn the material. The book contains two more subjects, 104.2 and 104.3, which is my way of thanking those who show their appreciation to my aiding services by purchasing the book. Since we currently live in a broken monetary system, without your show of monetary appreciation for my services, I can't get by and continue to perform service to others acts by writing more meaningful books. Purchasing the book not only shows your appreciation for my services and allows me to live in this monetary system, but the course's material will be easily accessible for your revisiting. To more fully absorb the material, it's recommended to read the book at least twice. You will understand why on your second reading. You can gain positive polarity by doing your part in sharing this awareness expanding course with others. Raising the collective's vibration is a team effort. We cannot do this alone. Your participation is required. Liking and subscribing are also actions that make this course seen by more human beings. A negatively oriented being learns information and keeps it to themselves so they can selfishly benefit over others. A positively oriented being learns information and wants others to benefit from it as well because they care. And they know that aiding others also aids themselves. This is true in more ways than one. As a being gains positive polarity for aiding others, and they benefit again when another's vibration is raised because it raises the whole collective's vibration, which assists all, including the first being who shared. All are connected, all are one. Comments and questions will be read, but I will not reply with comments, nor like comments, nor heart comments, nor interact in the comments section in any way. If comments or questions are found to warrant a reply, the reply will be made in a possible future video. If an account using the same or similar profile picture, channel name, or my author name interacts in any of the ways listed above or other ways, know that it's not me and is a human tool working for the negatively oriented human beings to capture and twist the information in this course or your perception, or smear the messenger. Likewise, human tools may create fake accounts on this platform or others in the same attempt to capture and twist this course's information. Official sources for me are listed in the description field below. Everything else is fake.